Good morning everybody, it's Brett here, Lionheart84, your UK exotic fruit growing enthusiast. Sunday the 11th of August, and I thought I'd take a break from the wind repairs to do a short video on different types of fruit that feature the name guava in their common name. Now they're all completely different varieties and species, but they are all related to each other in the Myrtle family, but they all come from different continents and areas and all grow entirely different fruit, and also will grow in different fruit conditions. So I just thought I'd quick run through the four types of guava, or main types of guava. Obviously they're all split into subdivisions, but you thought I'd show the different leaf forms and the different growing conditions needed. Now, the first type of guava is what most people would refer to as the common guava. This is the true tropical fruit guava. It can be called green guava, yellow guava, Thai guava, pink guava, red guava. They're all quite a similar type of, there's different forms of the fruit. You can have small fruit, large fruit, pear-shaped fruit, and in fact I've actually got here not a very good quality example, but this is this one's gone off, but this is sort of a slightly avocado shaped pink guava. Now it's an evergreen plant, of course. Now I thought I'd show you a close-up of the leaves on these so you can see the difference between different guavas. Now this is a young plant I've got. This is a variety called Stone Ruby, which I'm kind of thinking is going to have a red or pink flesh, but I won't know till, well, if it ever flowers or fruits I'll find out then. Now, this is the typical tropical guava leaf shape, and behind it I've got a larger one which is just a normal yellow or green variety. This is quite a lot larger plant, and I don't know if I can get a close up, but they've got this typical sort of lovely flaky bark that guavas on them. I'm very pleased with how this one's doing, but this is the proper tropical variety, and this in our climate here in the UK really needs to be kept in a greenhouse in winter, or a conservatory, or somewhere inside like I do in the house. I mean, really, these will probably take 1 or 2 very light frosts, but ideally they need to be an absolute minimum of 45 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 7 degrees centigrade, to survive winter without any major damage. But I mean, of the tropical and exotic fruits, they are one of the hardiest varieties. I mean, they're tougher than lychees and mangoes and papaya and custard apples and stuff like that, but nevertheless they're still going to be kept frost free. Now you can see the leaf shape's quite distinct. It's quite a largish leaf, very noticeable sort of veins on them, very clear leaf pattern. Now, and that's actually that's Psidium guajava. And it's all the ones you see in shops in different shapes and sizes, different forms of that. Now this one here next to it is the one that's known as the strawberry guava or cherry guava, depending on where you come from in the world. Now this is on the whole a smaller shrub. It's quite invasive in places where it's in its natural habitat like Hawaii. Now you can see these leaves are considerably smaller than on the other guava, and this is known as Psidium cattleyanum. So as I said, strawberry guava, cherry guava, and there's also a yellow variety which is normally called the lemon guava. Now the fruits on these are probably only about 1 inch to 1.5 inches across. Naturally I haven't got one to show you, so the size of a small plum. These have that typical sort of still have the same bark on them as they get bigger as a typical guava, and I believe the flowers are very similar to the common guava. Leaves are smaller, more glossy than the common guava, and the veins are not so distinctive on them when you turn them over. Lots of new growth on this one. You can just catch that. It's a little bit out of focus, yeah. And the new growth is sort of like a pinky colour. I've never tasted one of these. They're not marketed in other countries, but it's a sort of a small to medium sized shrub, so I should be able to grow this quite easily in a container, and hopefully next year might even get flowers on it. It's a little bit hardier than the common guava. I've heard they'll take light occasional frost, so possibly down to -1 or -2 centigrade, so about 30 degrees Fahrenheit, but I wouldn't risk exposing it to that. I'll try and keep it at a minimum of about 40 degrees Fahrenheit, so about sort of 5 degrees centigrade should be fine in winter. It will have to go inside, but that's the strawberry guava or cherry guava. Now these little ones here are what we call the Chilean guava. Now this is a much smaller evergreen plant, but it's hardy outside in the UK. These will probably comfortably take down to -7 or -8 centigrade, so probably down into the mid-20s Fahrenheit. I've got two varieties of these here. One of them is this one, which is called Butterball, and it has actually got quite a lot of small fruit on it, but they're probably not going to focus. You can probably just about see them there. I'll try putting my hand behind. Doesn't help in the sun. Yeah, sorry, not very easy to get this thing to focus. This one is this is Agni Mollini, is the Latin name, and this variety is Butterball. And these get fruits on them which are probably the size of very small blueberries, and the one next to it is Agni Mollini Flambeau, and again probably can't see them, but it has got, doesn't help with the sun, it has got some small fruits on it, and they turn a sort of a nice dark red strawberry guava type colour, the fruits in the autumn. These would probably be ripe in September. So this variety is Flambeau, which has a beautiful variegated leaf with a pink tinge to it. So again, it's a distant relative of the common guavas in the Myrtle family, but these are much smaller growing, and these are hardy in the UK down to about -7 or -8 degrees centigrade. But that common name, that's the Chilean guava. Now the final one I'm going to show you, of course, I've actually got growing in my garden in the main border, and that's the pineapple guava. Now that's the used to be known as Feijoa Celoiana, and is now called Aca Celoiana. Now this is another evergreen shrub, and the leaves are sort of a green with a sort of a hint of silver on top. As you can see, much smaller than the tropical guava leaves, and they've got a lovely sort of like a hairy green colour to the back. Now I happen to have, fortunately, I've actually got one here. This is actually a pineapple guava fruit. Now I hasten to add that's not off my tree, so I managed to find one online and buy it because I wanted to taste it and collect the seeds. So they're sort of, as you can see, sort of an ovally shaped, like a little bit narrower than an egg shape. In the case of this one, I suppose it's about 2 inches long and about 1 inch wide. I'm actually going to cut it open in a minute. Now these flower here from sort of June right through to September, October. You can see flowers still on it there, and in actual fact I have got some embryo fruits developing. Don't know if you can see it on camera. Let's see if I can find it. Easier said than done. Yeah, let's get that there. I've got some embryo fruits developing now. If they get to edible size, they'll probably be ready about October or early November if we have a mild autumn. But obviously this is only the first year that this one's flowered, so I've no idea if the fruits are going to carry on developing or just drop off. But this is the hardiest of the plants commonly known as guava, and I said this is the pineapple guava, and they'll take down to probably -10 or -12 degrees centigrade. I'm not sure what that is in Fahrenheit, but I'm going to guess that's somewhere between 15 and 20 degrees Fahrenheit, so pretty tough really. And again, they've got that typical sort of flaky, lovely, attractive, curly bark that guavas seem to have, but I think it's a lot of plants in the Myrtle family have that. But anyway, I thought people might like to see, there's another pineapple guava here. thought people might like to see 4 entirely different types of fruit that all carry the common name guava. Some you may be familiar with and possibly some you've never heard of, but if you live where I do, in certainly the southern part of the UK, these pineapple guavas are very decorative to have outside because they have beautiful flowers that you can eat the petals on, and if we get a very long warm summer there's a possibility of fruits as well. And again, if you want decorative plants that produce small edible fruit, I'd highly recommend these Agni Molini. There's also a plain green one as well as this one with the golden leaf tips and the variegated one. Find a look at the strawberry guava. I have actually got a yellow one, a lemon one, but it's only a tiny little seedling plant, so it's not worth filming at the moment. But as you can see, my common guavas are doing quite well at the moment. Just probably going to have to do some pruning on winter to get this into better shape because it's sort of very spreading and droopy, which isn't very practical for me. But anyway, I thought people might like to see 4 entirely different types of guava. Actually, what I'm going to do just before I sign off, if I can manage to do it, I'm going to cut this one in half so that you can see the inside of it. Wish these cameras would focus when you want them to. So that's the inside of a pineapple guava, known in other countries as Feijoa, although the Latin name is now Aca, and that's compared to a slightly gone off pink guava next to it. Didn't get to eat that one, but never mind, it was more about getting a few seeds. Anyway, that's that video done now. I shall go back to my normal gardening chores. Thanks for watching, anybody who's watched this video. Brett out now. Looks like the light's flickering a bit now. Yeah, it's Brett out for now. Thanks for watching. You're welcome to like, share, subscribe to my channel if you want to, and obviously click the bell if you'd like updates on future videos that I put. Thanks for watching. Catch you all later. Have a nice Sunday, everyone.